Hello everyone, welcome back to Sekien, Inganock. So I'm still a little bit sick, but if I go any longer without recording something, it's been about a week, I'm gonna feel like a piece of shit. So we're gonna go. Now, you might notice my voice is a little bit off, and I might cough it a few times, but whatever, we're gonna keep going on our journey here, so it's gonna be great. Today, I walk through the lowest tier, a lonely traveling doctor. He was seeing things today. It was as if everything had gone back to the way it used to be, before he'd met the girl, because she wasn't beside him today. No meetings with old friends, no overlapping of eyes and right hands, with 1,000-colored steel him hiding behind Guy even now. He just walked through the crowd, on a street which held hundreds of thousands. Yesterday he walked through the wealthy 4th and 5th tiers. That must have been part of it. Impoverished tiers made up most of the city. Guy was walking through the regions of the lowest tiers, that held the loudest cries of distress. That reality was all too clear. There was nearly a 30-fold difference in population density between today's tier and yesterday's. He wasn't lacking in patients here, although he couldn't make much money off them. For now, he had enough money. What he'd earned yesterday normally took a month to save up. I have money, but even so, I'm walking. Doing that is my only duty, and the only way I can live in the city. He walked alone, continuing to search for severe patients. He'd performed substitute healing alone. Guy would do it all by himself. He told Kia to watch the place while he'd gone. He wanted to avoid exposing her to unnecessary danger, since today he was going to the lowest tier to heal an exceedingly bad case. More importantly, he didn't want her to see it. There were too many horrible things there. I don't want to show her.
治安か。とはいえ、無限雑踏街も十分に悪いが。
Infinitely crowded street. There were very few dangerous monsters around, but there were countless robbers and drug dealers. Even so, he was in the lowest tier. Monsters still killed people, and drug gangs still perpetuated violence and exploited the poor. Almost 3 hours since he'd gotten off the monorail, and Guy'd already been seen 10 cases of people wounded by monsters. 3 of them died. He couldn't bring Kia with him. No, that wasn't it. He didn't bring her today. He'd been too frivolous yesterday. That was why he'd gone to a place filled with death. Guy wouldn't allow himself to stand still today.
怒っているかな、キーヤは。
もうひどいわ。一人きりにさせて自分だけ出歩いて。
She puffed out her white cheeks. All alone in the middle of the room, she woke up to an empty apartment that morning. It was almost midday. She'd already aired the sheets and cleaned up the place. There was nothing left to do. Kia puffed out her cheeks again. A room with no one in it. A note had been left on the table. Its message was short and frank. Watch the place while I'm gone. That was it. There was no doubt that he'd left long before the sun was up, far earlier than usual. He'd promised to eat the breakfast she'd made. Did he forget already? The thought saddened her. She hated being left behind, even though she knew she was of no real use in his line of work. She felt angry and sad. She hesitated for a bit. Should she cry or get mad? While hesitating, she ended up doing the latter. She puffed out her cheeks once again.
書き置き一つだなんてひどいんだから。もう。
She picked up the note. For a moment, she thought about throwing it out. Then she noticed something on the back. She held it up again. There was something written on it. There was far more on the back than there was on the front. How typical of Guy, Kia thought. I'm sorry, Kia. I think I'll be going somewhere dangerous today. Watch the place while I'm gone. I'll place a guard on the room. I've made a request of one of Addie's friends, a runner. He's been told not to disturb you. He'll simply observe and defend from the outside. I prepared a wireless telecommunication device so that you can contact him. If you hear anything suspicious, call the number on this note. I'll see you later today. I see.
アティの友達。無線型電信通信機。あ、これ。
It was a metallic plank. It had been sitting on the desk all morning. What sort of tool was it? She could tell it was probably an engine machine. A telecommunications device this small? Was it made by a scholar? She didn't think that anything so valuable could possibly be in a place like this.
どうやって使うのかしらこれ。あ、いいって。
She tried fiddling with it. Touching the panel's surface produced an odd synthetic noise. She'd pushed a button somewhere without knowing it. The Sekien word for shortwave was written there. Next, she pushed the number 1. Shortwave number 1.
つながったみたい。どうしよう。誰につながって。あ、もしもし。
A voice. It came from the other side of the speaker.
ごめんなさい。間違って通信回線を開けてしまって。あれ？あなた、どなた？
Several minutes later,
なんなんだ一体突然いきなり緊急回線で繋いできたと思ったら代わりにどっかの誰かの部屋を監視しつつ泥棒来ないか見ててと来た。なんなんだあの猫。たくそもそも誰の部屋だっつんだ。ボロアパルトメントに押し入るやついるか。緊急回線なんざ開いて酒の誘いだと思ったんだよな。暇だぜ。
a position from which he could see the whole apartment. One bird holding binoculars. A building used to manufacture engine work desks, standing on the roof.
そもそもあいつ自身はどこ行ってんだ。電信通信も着信拒否で遊び歩いてんのか。
The throng on infinitely crowded street. 2 silhouettes walked towards the monorail station. Silhouettes of a small girl and a large woman holding her hand. The lower-tier citizens around them were wearing oxygen masks on their way to a flea market. The smaller shadow staggered and was nearly swept up by the flow of lower-tier citizens, but the large shadow held on to her. Sometime later, they both escaped from the tidal wave of people. Not much further to the monorail station, the line heading directly to the staircase plate.
危ない危ない。よそ見してると飲まれるよ。
ごめんなさいアティ。大間によく似た姿の鳥さんがいたから。
探せばいくらでもいるさ。まったくもうよそ見が好きなキーや。確かにこれは一人歩きは危ないね。ギーは正解だ。
ひどいわ。アティも意地悪を言うの？
誰かといれば大丈夫ってことさ。あたしやギーね。
うん。ええ、そうね。あなたかギーがいればキーヤは大丈夫。
時と場所は選んでくれると嬉しいな。今日はまあいいんだけどさ。
はい、気をつけます。
もう言葉は素直なんだから。可愛い子は手に負えない。
は
ーい。やれやれ。
One of the silhouettes was Attie, the black cat of the city skyscraper. One of the silhouettes was Kia. She should have been watching the apartment. It was decided that Whenever she came here, Kia had to hold someone's hand. Today that someone was different. It wasn't Guy. Today Kia held the black cat's fluffy hand.
ねえアティ、そういえばあなたのお友達は？私ご挨拶がちゃんとできていないの。部屋の護衛のお礼を言わないと。それにほら、今はもうキーヤも誰もいないのだし。
ね、いいの？全然気にしないでもいいのさ。結局護衛は私が受けてたわけだし、暇だったから熱い。今はまあね、友達に引き継ぎさせたけど、順番があべこべになっただけだから全然気にしないでもいいのさ。気にしないでいいってこと。さあキーヤ、前を向いて。君行きたいところがあるんでしょ？
行きたいところがあるの。
Somewhere I want to go. I want to hear that melody again.
どうしても気になって。
The first upper tier staircase park. Perfectly clear water and overflowing greenery. Kia had come here twice yesterday. The most beautiful place in the city, and the highest place in the lower tiers. You could see the upper tier if you looked upwards. There it was, right behind the other tier plates. The highest tier, which looked like a small castle. It looked small from far away, but it was actually a very large structure. The upper tier, a place I don't like. Many other people, like Atty, feel the same way.
やれやれだね。度胸があるんだか世間知らずなんだか。子供っていう年でもないかもだけど、一人でこんな遠くまでさ。お散歩っていうにはやや遠いし、まあ行きたいってならしょうがないけど、そもそもキーヤ、どうしてここに？
The black cat looked at Kia, still holding her hand. Her reactions seemed slow. Kia usually responded right away when spoken to. Until now, she'd never just remained silent. Addie looked at the girl's face. She's a mysterious girl. Yes, mysterious. Nothing but mysteries. Even her identity, personal history, and reasons for staying in Guy's place were mysteries, and yet Addie felt no animosity or malice from her. She accepted Kia because she'd never felt such things from her. Addie would have come with her if Guy hadn't told her to. What's she looking at? Her eyes are so serious. Perhaps a secret was hidden behind those eyes? Addie thought about that a little. But for what? For whom? She undoubtedly had a reason for coming here. Before the black cat could look around, her sense of smell and hearing completely and accurately scanned the surroundings. And there was a sound. A sound. A single melody. The physical abilities of a normal human probably wouldn't have been enough to detect it. But Addie was able to accurately locate it. Her golden right eye wasn't just for show. Addie's sensory organs grasped her surroundings, far more accurately than any other police could.
悲しい旋律。そっか。これをキアは聞きに来たの。
アティには聞こえる？
もちろん。
ギーは詳しく聞こえないと言ったの。でも私は聞こえてしまったから、それで気になって。
耳がいいねキア、優秀だよ。都市で生きるにはとっても大切なこと。それとも勘がいいのかな？
The ears atop her head reacted to the melody. They perked up. They resembled both that of a cat's and a tiger's. They were the proof of her mutation, the source of Addie's excellent hearing. Kia's ears didn't seem to be mutated, and there was no way she'd amplified her hearing with a crack engine. Her inquisitive stance proved that. Is it just good intuition? I don't think Kia understands it herself. This time Addie looked around. She looked for the source of the sound.
ほら、あそこじゃないかな。窓が開いてる。
どこ？
あそこ。小さな共同住宅が見える？木と木の間にひっそり立ってる住宅。2階建てかな？そんなに大きくはないね。ほら、よく見て。1階の部屋で一つだけ窓が開いてる。
That's where the sound's coming from.
見えたわ。
女の子が何か弾いてるのかな？見えるよね、キーヤ。
A girl with green hair. She's playing something. On the other side of the open window.
やっぱりオルガン。
エンジン式オルガンだね。丁寧で繊細で綺麗な音。でも
ええ、どこか悲しい。
Kia's gaze was fixed straight forward, at the girl on the far side of the window. A girl with green hair, long, beautiful hair, like the leaves on a tree. The girl through the window. She was playing a melody on the organ. Her hair was brighter and clearer than any of the plants filling the park. It almost seemed to be sparkling. If Kia could have seen her face from this angle, she probably would have been unable to look away. Addie's eyes were fixated on the girl as she thought. She knew the emotion in the girl's eyes well, acceptance and mild despair. She immediately knew the reason. Those black vines entwined around her limbs. They weren't twisting around her fingertips yet. So for now, she could still play. Those vines were insubstantial. They passed through the girl's clothes as they twisted around her body. That's a shade of black brought about by a creature. A chill raced up her back. She knew it wasn't contagious, since it hadn't bloomed yet, but still. The girl played with the organ. She already appeared to have one foot in the grave. Addie understood why the sound was so sad. Acceptance and despair, disappointment and terror. She couldn't understand even more by listening closely, the awkwardness of the sound and the melody. What was Kia thinking? Surely she couldn't understand it. Kia couldn't even see those black vines because her eyes were closed. She was listening silently to the melody. Kia's expression changed, sadly. A common type of cooperative residence, proof of poverty in the lower tiers. The plants were twisting around the walls and table legs, so the residents must have been part of the vegetation filling the park. Any other structure would have easily been broken down by such life force. There definitely were signs of life, though most people would hesitate to believe that. The room was being eroded by plants, but its cleanliness was not that of vegetation, nor was it the cleanliness due to superficiality of life. She could easily read the personality of the room's owner, methodical and cautious. The floor, walls, and desks had all been carefully cleaned, and well-used drawers were polished. However, the owner didn't seem to be in. Addie didn't think the green girl was the owner. The girl sat in the room with a vacant gaze. She was too preoccupied with other things to take care of the place. Her vacant gaze, it was sunken in resignation. It still hid many other emotions.
あなたたち誰？演奏を聴いてくれてありがとう。でもあなたたちは誰？理由があってそうしていたんでしょ？私のオルガンを聴いたんじゃない。私に何の用なの？
She beckoned to Attie and Kia, who'd been standing beside the window. She beckoned them into the room. The girl had noticed them watching. She finished her performance and poked her head out of the window.
黙って見ていないで。ここへ上がったらどうなの？
Kia gladly accepted the offer, but it didn't quite feel like the girl was happy to have guests listening to her performance. A wariness, a thoroughly frightened emotion lay in the depths of her eyes, and he knew it all too well.
ね、私たちはただの通りすがりさ。邪魔をしたなら謝るよ。ごめんね。音が聞こえたから聞いていただけで、君のことは知らないよ。
そうなの。あなたはどうなの？あなたもこの人と同じことを言うの？キーヤ。私はキーヤというの。名前を言ってくれてありがとう。キーヤさん。良い名前ね。ありがとう。でも、よくある名前だわ。
Oops. Should I have told her my name? The girl's gaze fell only on Kia, the girl who'd introduced herself. Adia felt like she'd made a mistake. She sighed on the inside.
私はドロシー。オルガン引きのドロシー・ウッドストック。キーヤさん、ずっと目を閉じたまま聞いていたわね。聞いていても楽しいものじゃないのね。どうして聞いていたの？綺麗な音だったから。それと少し気になってしまって。私の気のせいならごめんなさい。でもあなたの音は悲しく聞こえてしまったから。昨日も今日もそう。
A faint reaction, a face as if she'd been told the obvious. That aside, Addie thought, she has a noble tattoo engraved on her body. Was she the relative of an upper-tier aristocrat? Noble tattoos were meant to be a special privilege of theirs. But for one of them to be down here, it was incomprehensible.
珍しいもの見ちゃった。この子、貴族崩れなんだ。貴族なのに除花病にかかるの？ノーブルタトゥーは偽物じゃないみたいだけど。
Was she abandoned? Thrown out from the upper tier when her vines manifested?
嫌な気分にさせたなら謝るわ。でも仕方ないの。あれが私の音だから。他には目を出すことはできない。そう。できないの。ええ、そう。もうできないの。キーヤさん、そんな顔をしないで。私の音が鈍いのは別にあなたのせいじゃない。
A slight emotion mixed into her words.
でも驚いたわ。感想を言ってくれたのはあなたが初めて。まともな聞いたままの感想はね。最初どこの不審者かと思ったけれど、あなたは違うみたい。あなた音楽が好きなの？はい、好き。あなたの綺麗な音好きだわ。悲しいところ以外？ええ、悲しく聞こえるのは悲しいから。そう感じる？とても悲しさがわかる。そう。
Her gaze fell to the floor. Ah, so that's it, Addie thought. The girl's emotions had sunk deeply, just like many other hosts who'd lost all that was precious to them. Even so, she hadn't given up. She was still playing the organ. Addie was convinced that she wasn't doing it just to kill time or to take her mind off things. The reason why she played. She said that she'd been playing yesterday. The reason why she'd kept playing. She can't give up. She can't give up on playing her sound.
聞いても笑わないでね、キーヤさん。おかしな話をするけれど。笑わないわ。うん。私ね、盛況の音楽家たちの曲が好き。大好きだったの、彼らの曲。ダイバーハ、モーツァルト、ハイドン。感情や物語が旋律の中に込められていて、私は夢中になって、いつか私もできればいいなって。彼らのようにいろんな感情を込めて。だから嬉しいわ、あなたに私の何かが伝わってくれて。
her sadness. It certainly would be conveyed to any listener.
嫌な思いをさせてごめんなさい。それでも私は嬉しいの。新しい聖教の曲にはもう出会えない。それでもあなた一人は私のオルガンで何かを感じてくれた。嬉しいわ。ドロシー、私は何もしていないの。あなたのことを知らない。あなたは嬉しいと言うけど、でもここが苦しくなる。
Kia puts a hand against her small chest and continued to stare at Dorothy.
あなたの弾くものは好きよ。でも昨日と今日以外のものも聴きたい。あなたはこんなに綺麗な曲を弾けるのに、何がそんなに悲しいの？教えて、ドロシー。
Kia. She doesn't know. She didn't know the meaning behind the darkness wrapped around the girl's limbs. Death in the form of arboritis. At that depth, there was no longer any point in giving her artificial limbs. It was already making lethal changes to her very nature. Mysteriously enough, she hadn't been killed yet. The room's owner must have concealed her well. That, or he had some kind of connection. A deep arboritis host. Arboritis. Jesus. Normally, she would have been executed under city law. It was incredibly rare for someone to survive this long while evading a death sentence at the hand of the upper-tier soldiers. Athy knew she was contagious at this stage, but she still didn't want to get any closer to the girl. She couldn't get any closer.
キーヤさん、あなたはきっと幸せに生きてきたのね。見て、私の腕、私の体。見えるわ。これは何？終わりの印。すべて終わらせてしまう。黒いツタ。会えてよかった、キーヤさん。本当に聞いてくれてありがとう。また聞きに来るわ。もっとあなたの音をたくさん知りたい。ダメ。明日にだって私は同じものしか聞かせてあげられない。それにね、私はもうダメだから、あさってにはないかもしれない。
Her lips whisper, they're shaking subtly, as if afraid. The modest curtain of night fell. Countless lights were born throughout the city. Night came to the nearby apartments. Its only merit was a relative silence. Addie thought about returning to the storehouse, but she was already at Guy's apartment. So was Kia. The room's surveillance and protection remained entrusted to the boyish bird. She'd understood a little more about Kia today. She was surprised by how little the girl knew. Now Atty was sure she'd feel uneasy if she'd ever left the girl alone. Let's stick together until Guy returns. She whispered that inside of her mouth, so that Kia couldn't hear. Guy's expression changed before he could even finish.
おかえりドクター。きちんとお留守番した二人を褒めて。
おかえりなさい。あのね、ギー。今日実は。
なんでもないのさ。ギー先生はもう夕食は済ませたの？キーヤのミートローフは絶品だよ。
あのね、どうしても気になったから。
Her laugh felt dry and forced. She'd wanted to avoid saying that they'd gone out, but Kia was such an honest girl, Addie couldn't blame her. She can't stand not telling him about Dorothy. I can see it in her eyes. Addie had already half given up during the long conversation with Dorothy. She was sure it ended that way. She knew Kia would ask him to heal the girl. She'd make a request of this man. This weird, cracking doctor.
外に出たのかい？
はい。
キーヤ、僕は書き置きを残したね。
留守番をって。ごめんなさい。言いつけ破ったわ。
アティがいたからいいものの、都市は君が思うよりも危険だ。決して一人では出歩かないように。
はい。
They were like brother and sister, or perhaps father and daughter. That weird cracking dock was becoming domesticated. Eddie nearly laughed, but held it in. Even a cat could read this atmosphere.
それで何かな？僕に話がある顔だね。
そうなの。ギーにお願いがあるの。お金はきっと払うから。アリサのところで働いて、それできっとお金を払うから。
ダメ。ダメだ。冗談でもそんなことは言わないこと。
そうそう、やめときなキーヤ。あんな女のところで働いたら不幸だよ。
アティ。
ごめんなさい。連れて行ったのは私だもの。キーヤを叱らないでやってね。
僕に彼女を叱る権利はないよ。預かっているだけだからね。黙って置いていったのはすまなかった。しかし無茶をしないでくれ。それで僕への依頼とは何かな？
キーヤに聞いてあげて。厄介事かどうかは何とも言えない。
キーヤ。
Gee's gaze was fixed on Kia, and the girl gazed back at him. Rare things do happen. She wore neither a smile nor that mysterious expression. Kia looked at Gee a little differently from before. Her eyes were pleading, wishing for something.
なんだかな。短い間に随分距離が縮んだね。別に嫉妬してるわけじゃないけどさ。ほんと不思議な子。
In truth, she was perfectly aware of her jealousy. Addie shrugged her shoulders.
ドロシーという人がいるの。第一公園の住宅に住んでいる人。とても困っているの。お願いキー、お願い。ドロシーを助けてあげて。きっと病気にかかっているのだと思うから、あなたならきっと助けてあげられる。
理病者か。
Gee's gaze moved to Addie. He desired an explanation. What should she say? Even the phenomenon equation couldn't do everything.
隠しても仕方ないか。言っても誰も損はしないし、上層兵に告げ口なんかしないだろうし。
She was an Arboritis host and a fallen aristocrat. Reporting would probably net anyone a good deal of cash. However, Addie wouldn't do that. Receiving one-time money had no real meaning. More importantly, she'd never go to the upper tier to report it.
その子、樹化病にかかってるの。進度はかなりのもの。体表にツタがはっきり現出しちゃってる。本人も分かってはいるみたい。
しんどさんか。
あれ、何？ギー、こんな風な顔するの？
For one moment, he had shown a pained expression. In the past, this man's face had always remained calm and composed, no matter what sort of host. He was desensitized to the infections of others. He'd only grasped the nature of the illness and leave it at that. He even said to him so himself, but now his expression was clearly warped.
何かあるの？
Arboritis. Come to think of it, there were those 3 orphans. Those kids Guy supports. I'm pretty sure they caught it too.
そうか。樹化病ともなれば厄介だな。開花は近いのかい？
見る限りはまだみたい。でも本人は近いと思ってるかも。
いつだと言っていた？
明日は大丈夫だって。明後日にはもうここにはいないって。
進度が進みすぎている。それではクラッキングでも手に負えないな。
ギー、アティ、何の話をしてるの？
その子の病気の話だよ。精神の衰弱は樹化を激しく進行させる。諦めたのならもうそれで終わりだ。残念だがね。
Yes, it's already over. The Yoki's seeds are fed by the human soul. of the 41 creatures that scattered calamities across the city. One of them was Yoki Bloodtree, the source of rubberitis. It multiplied to no end, eating away at the heart and body, and eventually bursting out of its living host. If discovered in its early stages, it could be dealt with, like he'd done for Parl Lupo and Polun. Still, that didn't solve the fundamental problem. Arboritis changed a person's way of being. It was a mutation of one's very nature. Infected arms and feet could be replaced with engine limbs, but if seeds of its core existence had already invaded them, the vines would eventually devour their bodies.
言った通りだ。悪いが、僕にできることはない。
でもあの人苦しんでいるの。
できることはない。僕は今そう言ったはずだよ。
His voice is cold.
そんな言い方しなくてもいいじゃない。ギー、いつもと反応違うよ。
違わない。
もしかして何かあるの？君、樹花病に特別な思い入れでも？
僕は事実を言っている。それだけだ。深度の進んだ樹花病にはクラックも無意味。ただ、それだけのことだよ。
あれ？なんでこんな反応なのさ。躍起になって3人の子供とか世話して少ないシリング費やしてるのにさ。変だ。これじゃまるで普通の仮想民。ギーじゃないみたい。
Addie thought of a question. She opened her lips to ask him, but the words wouldn't come out. Not after she saw Gee's expression.
あれ、話しかけるの何も聞くなって。君、そういう顔もできるんだ。へえ、そう。そうなの。
Very normal reaction for anyone other than Gee. He wouldn't expend money and labor on something he knew to be hopeless. Most of the people living in the lower tiers would have had the same reaction. Addie knew that well. She often had to make decisions like these herself, without letting her emotions show. But this is Gee, the weirdo. No one else. He continued his unlucrative travels day after day, and was always poor despite being an equation user, and yet he wouldn't stop walking around the lower tiers. He was always traveling, as if refusing to give up on something. So what was with that expression, that posture, those cold words?
あっそ、わかった。帰る。
Going home to where? I have no fixed place to sleep.
ギー、やめて。そんな風にアティに言わないで。言いつけを破ったのはキーヤなのに。
A white hand grabbed onto Gee's reconstructed cloak, strongly, as if condemning him. Addie had already started to leave, but stopped when she noticed something was wrong.
僕は事実を言っただけだよ、キーヤ。アティがどうかは関係ない。
やめて。
何をだい？
そう。わかったわ。ギーがそんなにアティに意地悪するなら、一緒に寝させてあげませんから。今夜はアティはキーヤと寝ます。
Eh? What did she? What does that mean?
いや、そうかじゃなくて。何の話をしてるの、キーヤ。
さあ、こんなに冷たいギーのことは放って、私たちは仲良くしましょう。ね。
Why? Why did this suddenly... Addie just wasn't prepared for her to say something like that, so suddenly. Addie just wasn't ready for it. She couldn't understand Kia's logic. While she was hesitating, something tugged on her hand. Together they rushed up to the second floor, towards the bed and right into it. Then those pink eyes gazed at her intently. Huh?
え、あれ？こういうことでいいの？
ふかふかでしょ。お昼前にお外で干しておいたから。
あれ？
どうしたのアーティ？びっくりした顔をしてるわ。
まあそうよね。びっくりした。普通はこうだものね。
何か？
いいの。うん、いいから。こっちの話だ。いいんだってば。黙っておやすみ。夜更かしが過ぎるといい女になれないさ。
A guest bed. It wasn't made for two adults to sleep in, but the sheets and blankets were much better than those in a cheap apartment. She lay down with Kia. She felt the slender girl's warmth beside her.
仲のいい姉妹のよう。それともまさか母と娘？冗談。
Addie looked at the girl beside her, the pink eyes gazing towards her intently. Those big eyes were reflected by her own golden eye. She was trying to say something. Addie noticed that and realized that must have been why she stopped her from going home. Kia, the girl who gazed at Guy, her pink gaze followed the man. That was why she felt so surprised. She thought Kia had no interest in her.
何かを言おうとしている瞳。私に呼び止めたのはなぜ？しかもあのタイミングでさ、私を。
アッティ。
何？
あなたに一つお願いがあるの。あ、黒猫さんに依頼があるのよ。
依頼。
A silently weird pronunciation. That probably had to do with where the mysterious girl had been raised. Or was it the word was just that crude? A request. That was the way contracts were made with the black cat. But for this girl to... Addie thought it was a strange subject. Quite strange. She'd had requests from even younger children before, and yet she wondered, why her it doesn't suit her at all? Kia, a mysterious girl. Her life had nothing to do with runners. Addie could tell that from her face and eyes, but...
何を依頼したいのさ。
She couldn't hear Kia's whispered voice. Addie cleared her ears and listened. Her hearing was sharper now than when she was human.
嫌いにならないでね。お願い。
ギーを嫌いにならないで。何それ？
ダメ？
ダメなんて言わないけどさ。それ言うためにわざわざ引き止めて？そうなの？ダ
メ？
薄赤色の瞳はまっすぐ真剣な様子で私を見つめる。ダメじゃないけどさ、別にさっきだって嫌ったわけじゃないし、ギーああなると話しかけても返さないし、一緒にいても意味ないなって思っただけで、嫌いとかどうとかじゃないのさ。
よかった。
Kia smiled while heaving a sigh of relief. I was just so surprised. Her request was, don't grow to hate him.
じゃあ約束ね。ギーのことを嫌いにならないで。
ああ、もうそんなに機嫌のいい笑顔をされたら。ずいぶんこだわるね、依頼にさ。いいけど別に。高いからね、私の依頼料は。
頑張って払います。でもちょっとだけ待って。
ダメ、待てない。
そう。
待たないからね。明日の朝には用意して。たまには卵は茹でたやつもいいかしら。できれば半熟で。用意できない？依頼料。
用意するわ。ありがとうアティ。大好き。
そっか、大好きか。照れるね。
ね、それじゃあ。
まだ何か？いいよ、何でも言ってごらんよ。
じゃあもう一つだけお願いしてもいい？依頼。明日の朝食もつけるから。
あれれ？追加依頼？ わかった。私の負け。意外とたくましい女だね、キーヤ。本当に可愛い顔してさ、無防備な笑顔を振りまいちゃって。嫌いじゃないけどさ。
But what was the other request, though? What? Not nice. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin.
貴族たちは嘘をついている。都市インガノックを支配する上層貴族。彼らは皆嘘をついている。上層貴族の証であるノーブルタトゥー。私の体にも彫り込まれている。それは嘘の塊でしかない。クリッタンや幻想生物などがもたらす未知の病を完全に防ぐだなんて嘘。こんなものただの気休めに過ぎない。貴族たちは嘘をついている。貴族の生命は何よりも優先されると彼らは言うけれど、本当は違う。気休めに過ぎないノーブルタトゥーが効かずに異形の病に利病した者がいたら、彼らはすぐさま殺そうとする。都市法にのっとって利病死を出した一族ごと処刑されてしまう。だから私は捨てられた。父様と母様に。壊れたおもちゃを捨てるように簡単に上層から投げ捨てられて、そして私は彼に拾われた。でも私の周りは嘘ばかり。
Poor Dorothy. Kia.
音楽は大好き。私は楽器を弾けないけれど聴くのは好き。演奏会も大好き。正教の曲が好き。バイオリンの音が好きなの。ピアノもオルガンも好き。教会音楽というのも好き。迫力があって荘厳な響き。歌も好き。歌なら少しはできる。あの子のオルガンに合わせて歌ってみたい。頑張らないと無理だけれど綺麗な音色になるような気がする。でもあの子は誰にも聞かせてはくれない。綺麗なオルガンをスミスさんにさえ。
About Sekiens and creatures. Some information was recorded about the 41 creatures. 10 years ago they materialized and started killing off a subset of the city's population. A subset of humans, namely Sekiens and their descendants. It is said that the creatures persistently sought them out until they devoured all of them and their terror. Their number wasn't recorded, but it was probably less than 100. And after that, the creatures turned their fangs towards other humans. That's the recorded information. But the truth is different. Only a certain kind of creature reacted to Sekiens and their descendants. The large creature which creates endless duplicates of itself. Its name is Blood Tree. A large creature which attacks people simply by breeding. Crack engines and healing. At present, runners, drug gangs, and upper-tier soldiers all own crack engines. They give off strong impression of heightened battle strength. They were originally developed as artificial limbs for medical purposes. Those machines were meant to make up for the lost bodily functions without being rejected or overburdening the body. In the lower tiers, victims of accidents, creature attacks, mutations, or other strange diseases very often have these. Most medical crack engines would be highly priced, were they genuine upper-tier approved goods. Therefore, the people of the lower tiers obtained cheap, illegal crack engines from back-alley doctors and markets. Although it's a wide-open secret. It's said that there are engine factories which mass-produce cheap crack engines for the lower tiers. Unlike genuine ones, they're very likely to be rejected or overburden the user. The city's upper tier maintains its silence on this matter.
機械使い。その噂のほとんどは英雄的人物を示す。いわく伝説の腕前を持つランナーであるとか、いわくはい中でも信憑性の高いものはかつてのクリッター討伐に関わった人物、ストリートナイト、都市最強最速を謳われた路地の騎士、全身にクラックエンジンを埋め込んだエンジンヒューマン。事実かどうかはわからない、僕には。だが僕は機械使いを知っている。一度だけ見たことがある。この10年間に一度だけ目にしたことがある。大蛇のモンスターであるナーガを切り裂く影。背後に黒いものを従えた一人の男。男の背後の影、すなわち機械は大蛇を容易に破壊した。上層兵の撃つ無数の銃弾に耐えたそれを。クリッターにさえ及ぶと呼ばれたナーガはいとも簡単に無造作に。そして男は笑っていたのだ。ケルカ。男の名を僕は知っている。男はかつて都市法の執行官だった。幾人幾百人もの命を奪った男だ。きっと今も。
機械使い、それは俺だ。この俺、かつては都市法の執行官として仮想にあまたの死をもたらした。やっていることは変わらねえさ。俺は殺すだけだ。世間じゃ美しいものだなんだと大層な理屈をつけちゃいるが、機械は力だ。それ以外の何でもない。俺たちはそれを振るうために選ばれた。命を奪い取り殺すためだけの力だ。少なくともこの俺にとってはそうだ。俺以外の機械使いの場合も大して変わるもんじゃない。あいつらは俺の獲物だ。出会えば必ず殺す。
幼樹、それは人の精神と肉体を侵食する異様。恐るべきクリッターブラッドツリー。僕は記憶している。人に取り付く死の種子。それはやがて育ちきって人を殺す。僕は149例を目にしてきた。僕は149人を救えなかった。今までに149人。僕は樹化病の利病者を救えなかった。存在の形質変異を引き起こす病に対して肉体を置換修復するクラッキングは通じない。何もできなかった。クラッキングによる肉体の正常化とクラックエンジンへの置き換えによる切り離し、それだけが唯一の対処法だ。パルたちのように。それ以外には何をすることもできない。肉体を侵食する種子を取り払っても精神に根ざした種子は拭えない。やがて精神の根幹が侵食されて絶望だけが残った時に育ちきった芽は弾けるのだ。今までに149人僕は救えなかったのだ。
クラッキング使い、それにクラッキング毒、 この俺もクラッキングはいくらか使う。もっとも破壊専門だがな。クラッキングとく。せっかく脳に刻み込んだ理論をクラッキングを仮に変える連中、奴らの数は多くない。数少ない連中のほとんどは上層お抱えの御殿以下、第一層第二層の起業家どもにひっついてシリングを吸う金の亡者だ。力が何かも分かっちゃいねえ。気に入らねえ。中でも一番気に入らねえのはただ同然でそれを使う巡回医師だ。てめえだよドクター・ギー。クソより匂う偽善をいつまで続ける。
About the upper tier aristocrat protection policy. Mutating illness ran rampant in the city. The medical view states, there is no way to avoid the disease which causes one body to change into a fantastic mutant. In the lower tiers, there is a superstition that wearing oxygen masks is an effective defense, though there is no basis for that. It is said that the upper tier uses a more realistic approach. The noble tattoos engraved into the upper tier aristocrats' skin. In a sense, they're also proof of aristocracy. Equation patterns based on the phenomenon equation. They're said to be an impenetrable defense against body warping mutations. The people of the lower tiers envy the tattoos. They often ask to be engraved themselves. However, the upper tier announced that it was simply performing a human experiment. The controllers, the upper tier aristocrats, were using their own bodies as test subjects so that they could ensure it was safe. They said the tattoos that would eventually be passed on to the lower tiers. There are those who believe these words, and there are those who don't. Among the aristocrats, the system for engraving these tattoos is called the upper tier aristocrat protection policy. Whether they're really human test subjects or not is clear after a single glance at the name.
それなのに、彼は私にこう言うの。大丈夫。君はオルガンを弾いていなさい。そういうの。嘘つき。私は知っている。彼が仮想民の中でも浮いた存在であって、ろくに仕事を得られない身であることを。彼は正教人だから、少なからず仮想でも差別される。それさえも、彼は私に言おうとはしない。
The only things ever witnessed in the lower tiers came from the seeds that Blood Tree's main body once scattered. It stayed hidden for all this time. This creature produces false bodies of itself through either reproductive division or seed scattering. The seeds it scatters when it appears 10 years ago are floating as dormant particles in the city's lower tiers. They possess anyone with weakened vitality, young or old. Then, They suck out their host's nutrition, grow by stealing the mind and body, and eventually burst apart, scattering more seeds at the moment of death. But in most cases, enforcers of city law kill the hosts before that can happen. This creature is the most famous in the city's lower tiers, and it has produced the most casualties. It does nothing but grow until the host dies, but if anyone tries to cut it off, the vines will attack. About arboritis. Technically, it isn't a disease. It refers to a condition inflicted by creature blood trees' seeds of death. People's bodies are brought down over the course of a few years, and it eats away at the mind, steals the body away with vines, and kills the host. It's been reported that implantation of crack engines or the phenomenon equation can extend one's life somewhat. City law states that arboritis hosts are to be eliminated. In other words, executed. Most of the time, the people in the lower tiers hide their arboritis with artificial crack engine limbs, while fearing the death that's sure to come for them.
おぼろげな記憶がある。クリッター、ブラッドツリーに関する記憶。確かそれは10年前のこと。復活から1ヶ月の間に起きたこと。あの地獄の日々の一幕だ。他のクリッターと同じく、ブラッドツリーは仮想へと出現していた。そして、あの黒騎士を無数に巻き続けた。その時に、ブラッドツリーの活動傾向には、とある特徴があったと僕はおぼろげに記憶している。それはある特定の人間に対しての反応だ。ブラッドツリーは過剰反応を示していた。特定の人間、そう、聖教の。
俺の頭に残る記憶、そいつがささやくんだ。いつも俺の耳元で。まさかとは思うが、機械の声なのか、こいつの記憶なのか。事実は俺も知らない。ただ、俺はそいつを思い出すだけだ。41。それはクリッターと同じ数だ。その数字、それが俺の頭に浮かぶ。俺にはわかる。それは10年前のあれだ。俺は覚えているのか、それとも記憶を植え付けられているのか。どっちでも構いはしねえが。41。俺はただ殺すだけだ。その果てで待っているものを目指して。
上層のことはよく知らない。貴族が住んでいるのだとか。一番偉い大公爵様が住んでいるとそう聞くけれど、貴族という人たちも大公爵様も私は見たことがない。どんな人たちなのだろう。王様なんておとぎ話の中から。そうギーに言ったら笑われた。少し悔しい。私が冗談を言っていると彼は言った。何を指してそういうのかはわからない。ともかくギーの言葉を借りるなら、上層は気持ちの良い場所ではないって。行くことはできないし、行っても何も得られるものはない。嫌な場所。ギーがそう言っているように私には聞こえた。
私はどうすればいいの？オルガンを弾くだけで他には何を？蝕まれていく自分を感じる以外何を？私は今日も鍵盤を弾く。音を奏でる。けれど私は不安でたまらない。心が壊れてしまう。侵食していく幼児から目をそらせない。毎朝起きるたびに水浴びをするたび、私は私の体を見てしまう。 怖い。私はどうなるの？誰か教えて。どうすればいいのか。何をして生きることを肯定すればいい？私に教えて。
I can hear it. I can hear your voice. Your regret reaches me. The 149 people lost. Those are all bad memories for you. However, I can see what you see. Do you really see them as bad memories? Have you given up?
ドロシー、あなたの旋律はとっても綺麗。でも、聞いていると悲しくなるの。わかるよね。あなたがどう思って弾いているのか、わからないけれど伝わる。ドロシー、お願い、絶望しないで。あなたが絶望している分だけ鍵盤から響く音は悲しさに満ちる。その音はきっとあなたをもっと絶望させるから。
And that's the end.
音が聞こえる。今日も。
Alright, everyone. We're gonna call it here for today. Thank you all for watching. We are now on, what would it be, chapter 3? I don't know. Do a save here. Chapter 3. Yeah, we're past the weird little mini game here. Alright, so we're still in chapter 3. Thought maybe we'd go to chapter 4, whatever, doesn't matter. So, we're in chapter 3 now, or we have been for a while. We should be wrapping up pretty soon, I believe. And it looks like it's going to culminate in possibly destroying the blood tree yokai and helping the girl named Dorothy. But we'll see. So yeah, we're gonna call it here. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. So bye bye.